there sure are a lot of ropes on this boat. All of them come from Marlow, which is a super cool company that makes great ropes out of the UK. And I will explain to you how they work and what they are. So, as we look out this way, you can see, first of all, a 3-to-1 purchase for the backstays. So they go up there, and then they are pulled forwards by this rope that keeps them both away from the mainsail, so they're not chafing, and also stops them getting tangled when I take reefs. And then if we start here on the port side, you can chase the spinnaker sheet going up this way. So we're currently sailing with the A3 Jenica, and this is its sheet. And look at that. It is operating at 2.5 tons of tension on one little rope that is smaller, a lot smaller than even my little pinky finger. So that's just incredible. And then here we have the Code Zero sheet, and here we have the main sheet. And so they go into this bank of XX power clutches from Spinlock, and these are absolutely fantastic. And the fact that they can hold the full working load of these sails, 2.5 tons, means that I get to do peeling and complicated maneuvers. This next bank here of the ZR clutches, they control all of the lines going forward for the 3D. So that ring up there with the J3 on it allows me to control the shape of all the foresails. So that's what's going on there. And then I've got 2 jib sheets, and so here we've got the J2 and the J3 coming up onto this winch. So when I'm using a stay sail, then the small one goes on the back winch there. And then the primary winch that has the A3 on it. And then these are all tidied away here. With so many kilometers of rope, you have to be super anal about tidying up all the time. And then now we come up here into the potentially quite intimidating part of the boat. This is called the piano. And this is made with a different kind of technology. We've got this big block of aluminium that was custom made for this boat, and all set up with these textile blockers. And I use these purely because just look at the density here. You know, it is absolutely unbeatable to get so many ropes in such a small area, and to be able to control them with these little pull lines. And so this is actually a system that was invented by a friend of mine, Julien Barnet, and these textile blockers have revolutionized the way that we build these boats and the way that we operate them. So to give you an idea about how they work, is that you can pull to release, and then with that little knot there, then you can block them off. So that's now in its open position, that's now in its closed. There's some elastic that pulls them forward here. And to give you an idea, there are, I think I counted this correctly, 34 ropes that come into here, plus then of course the trip lines. So these are the remote controls for the other Spinlock ZS blockers further forward on the boat. So we've got 2 bowsprit blockers, and then one for the J3, one for the J4. These ones here control constrictors in the boom, so these are my reef lines controls. And then if we go from left to right, or port to starboard, we've got the control for the mainsail hook here, and then we've got the mast rotation, the lazy bag, the daggerboard up. This one's broken, but I need to, anyway, that's a Cunningham. Here we've got daggerboard down. Here we've got the tack lines. So we've got the 2 bowsprit tack lines, and then everything is color coded. You see pink and yellow here. You see pink and yellow up here. So those are the J3 and the J4. And this is the mainsail down, because when I take a reef using these lines, these are all color coded. Green is 1, yellow is 2, red is 3. So that means it's getting hotter as you take them. You need to pull down the mainsail physically because it doesn't come down with gravity because there's so much friction. And then reef lines, and then we're into the halyards, and so we're into, of course, color-coded again. So pink is J4, J3, J0, fractional, main sheet, that's on a hook, so there's no tension on it at the moment. And then masthead. And then here in the middle, we control the lines for the shape of the mainsail. So we've got the Vang and then the Cunningham. And then went to the furling lines, and so again color coded 4, 3, 2, 0 masthead, and then we go to the other side, and we're into the daggerboard down, daggerboard up, mast rotation, and lazy bag again. Now these lines, of course, they're super long. The masthead halyard is more than 70 meters long, and so they all go here. And the main halyard is down there. And then the furling lines go on this side, and they're all super tidy on that side. And then we come up onto the starboard side, and lines nicely tidied away. Main sheet there, lazy sheet for the A3, J3, J2, back into our Spinlock banks here with the high load and the low load ones, and then onto the backstay. So these are runners. There's no fixed backstay on these boats, and so lots and lots of tension in there. Basically 2 tons in that rope. You can see it's super tight, and that multiplied by the 3-to-1 purchase going up there means that we get to hold the mast up. So that is a tour of the cockpit. This being a solo sailing boat, everything comes back to the cockpit, and that makes it super easy for me to maneuver the boat by myself. Otherwise it would be completely impossible. And then as you've seen, I've got some incredible partners in Spinlock and Marlow that allow me to operate this boat. But one thing that is super cool about these ropes made by Marlow is that the color part, the polyester, is recycled from ocean plastic. So that is plastic that has been fished out of the sea, melted down, and then turned into other products. So that is super cool. That's their blue line. And then the black, that is a Technora, so an aramid, similar to Kevlar, in the same family, and that is super abrasion resistant. And so that's a mix there. That is super abrasion resistant. And actually there's one rope on this boat that has a purely polyester cover, and that's the one that is broken. We do really need these mixed covers with the Kevlar or Aramid or Vectran that allow it to withstand the super high loads that are generated on this boat. And then certainly when you ease them under load, it's quite dramatic because there's so much friction and so much load that the ropes actually smoke and can sometimes burn themselves, even with just a couple of centimeters of movement, because the friction is so high. One thing that's unique about Marlow as well with their ropes is the construction of all ropes, but is in 2 parts. There's this cover here. I'll put that in the bin. And then there's the core. And so the core is Dyneema, and that's this incredible material that allows us to carry these super high loads. And that is actually bio-sourced. So it's made out of beans. So the oil that makes the plastic is derived from a vegetable source. And that's one of the ways that we reduce the carbon and energy footprint of this boat, is by obviously using the material and these ropes for as long as we possibly can. And so great durability helps with that. But then of course using recycled plastics where we can, using bio-sourced resins and plastics where we can, and yeah, it's astonishing. So welcome to my life. Lots of ropes.